So over the past year, I've been getting a ton of different advertisements for 0% financing for car loans. And honestly, a lot of those loans really can be 0% with no strings. But I did want to bring up a couple points just in case you guys really are looking into getting a 0% loan, because there are a couple things that you should pay attention to if you're going to be doing that. So the first thing I want to bring up is that 0% financing typically only works on new car purchases. So if you're in the market for a new car, then great, you can probably find 0% financing. But keep in mind also, if you're looking at a specific make and model, it might not actually qualify for 0% financing, because a lot of the time, the manufacturers, they want you to buy the higher end version of the car. And so if you buy the premium version, that one might offer 0% financing, but the lower ones, they might not. And so that is something that you want to keep in mind. And another thing to add here is that the auto manufacturers are typically the ones offering the 0% financing. And so this is probably fine for most of us as long as you can set up auto pay and you don't really have to deal with them. But as far as customer service goes, in my personal experience, I've found that dealing with a bank is typically easier than dealing with a car manufacturer. Now, obviously, I haven't used every single manufacturer out there, and I haven't used every single bank, so maybe the story is different for you. But in my experience, customer service is lacking a little bit when you're dealing with those types of loans. But like I said, as long as you can set it up on auto pay or something like that, then you don't really have to deal with them, and it's all good from there. So at this point, I'll talk about two major things that you need to pay attention to as far as your 0% financing goes. And the first one is just the contract that you're signing, because you want to make sure that you're getting a good loan here. You don't want to end up signing a contract that has an early payoff penalty, because what this means is a few years later, if you decide to sell your car or trade it in before that loan is paid off, you could actually have a penalty fee that you have to pay, and you don't want to have to do that. Most loans don't have early payoff fees, so just pay attention to the contract, make sure everything's clean so that it's a good 0% financing contract that you're signing. And the other thing you want to pay attention to if you're buying a new car and they offer 0% financing is that if there's a cash rebate involved, you want to try and get both. You want to get the cash rebate and the 0% financing, because if you have to give up one or the other, you actually want to run the math yourself, because it might not be the best value to take on 0% financing if you're giving up too big of a cash rebate. So as an example, if you were buying a $30,000 car and they offered a $3,000 rebate or 0% financing, then if you run the math, you'll actually find that the $3,000 rebate is the better value, because if you ended up taking the cash rebate and applying it to the loan, instead of you starting at $30,000, you'd actually start at $27,000. And with today's interest rates, let's say that you qualify for a 3% rate on a 5-year term, then you'd end up paying about $2,100 in interest for the life of that loan. And so obviously the $3,000 rebate is worth it in that case. And also on this same math, you'd actually have a slightly lower payment as well. Now, obviously, every single car purchase is different. And so if you are in that situation, you need to run the numbers yourself and see what the better value is. But like I said earlier, ideally, if you can get both of them, the cash rebate and the 0% financing, that's always the best you can do. But a lot of the time, you have to choose one or the other. So just remember that if you are looking into 0% financing, that you double check the contract, make sure there's no early payoff penalties or anything dirty like that. And then if you are offered a cash rebate or 0% financing, obviously run the numbers yourself and find out what's going to be the best value for your situation.